how tasty fresh turds can be. You know, while we're waiting for the old water to get hot there, I want to tell you a quick story. It's what I call a family classic. It's a story my dad used to tell. My dad was a storyteller. He's a World War II veteran. He had been awarded the Purple Heart, the Bronze Star, and the Silver Star. So he's been there, done that in quite a few places, including France, Germany, and Belgium. But anyway, he used to love to tell stories, and one of the stories that he used to just love telling, you know what? Wonder what whiskey would do to this. Not exactly liking Red Dawn, but let's try again. I think I'll drink it instead. So, my dad would tell this story, and he never really had a name for it. It was just a story, but I named it The Stump, the Dog, and the Dynamite. Yep, you heard that right. The Stump, the Dog, and the Dynamite. My dad would tell this story, and I'll try to tell it just like he did. But it goes like this. It was 1946, and my dad was just back from the war, World War II, and they lived on a farm, and there had always been this big stump, this great big huge mother of a stump in the middle of the field that they always had to farm around. And actually, you know what? Before I tell the story, let me adjust this camera so you can see me. There we go. Fire. So where was I? Oh yeah, 1946, big stump in the middle of the field. They always had to farm around. So my dad, all full of vinegar and piss coming back from World War II, told his dad, "Dad, I'm going to take care of that stump. I'm going to blow it for you. I got the training, I got the know-how, and I'm going to just make that stump disappear so we don't have to farm around it anymore." So, anyway, my dad goes down to the farmer's supply store in 1946, and he said it was no big deal at all back then to buy dynamite as long as you certified it was for agricultural use. So he buys a case of 90%, I think he said 90% nitro dynamite, you know, TNT. And brings it back to the farm. Yeah, sorry, adjusting the camera there so I don't have to go like that. So, story continues. Dad went out to the stump, and he said he went to one side of the stump and took a little auger, and hand auger or hand drill, whatever you want to call it, drilled a little 1-inch hole or so out of the bottom of the stump, and he said he capped and fused 1/4 stick of dynamite, lit the fuse, walked around to the other side of the stump and waited. A couple seconds later, boom! There was a small explosion, which opened up a hole in the bottom of the stump. He said about, 6 or 7 or 8 inches around. He says, into which I capped and fused 9 sticks of dynamite. At this point, my dad would always say, looking back on it, hindsight being 20/20, that was possibly a little bit excessive. So anyway, he caps and fuses this dynamite, puts it in the hole, and back then, and probably now, you have what's called timed fuse. He said, it burns. It was certified to burn so many inches per second. So he says he measured off like 2 minutes of fuse, right? Lit the fuse, and jogged down to the county road to stop what little, if any, traffic he said would be coming by in 1946. Probably none, right? So he's down there by the county road. Fuse is up there on the, on the hill in the meadow, burning. He's looking this way and he's looking that way for cars, and he's got about 30 seconds left, he figures, and he looks up, and there's his dog, Red, taking a piss on the tree stump. You know what? My dad said at this point, he says, that dog never would come when I called it. He says, I'm looking at my watch. He says, there's no way I've got time to run back up there, grab the dog, get him away from the stump. He says, I got like 20 seconds left. And I'm like, here, Red! Come on, Red! Come on, boy! Come on! Dog's just standing there going, huh? What? You think I'm going to run all the way down here when I got a perfectly good stump right here to take a leak on? Yep, and sure enough, my dad said that if he lived to be 1,000,000 years old, he would never forget this next image. Permanently seared into his brain. He's looking at his watch. He's thinking, time's up. Dog's still standing there. And sure enough, he said there was this one hellacious explosion. And he said if he lived to be 1,000,000 years old, he'd never forget seeing the stump going up in the air this way, and the dog going up in the air this way. He said the stump came down over there, crunch, and he said the dog came down over there, hit the ground. I kid you not, this is what my dad said. Bounced, hit the ground a second time running. Not dead, it didn't kill him. Took off like a bat out of hell to the farmhouse in his dog box. Just de-assed the area. So my dad looks, he goes, okay, well, mission accomplished. Huge stump laying over there. Huge hole in the middle of the field. I'll have to do something about that later. But anyway, so he thinks, oh my God, what have I done to my dog? So he takes off, runs up, and dog's in his dog box. And this is a dog that loved my dad. I mean, I've got a dog, Ripley. She's over there off camera. She goes everywhere with me. She's my buddy. I wouldn't hurt her for $1,000,000. I wouldn't sell her for $1,000,000. 2, maybe, but not for $1,000,000, okay? She's my buddy. My dad looks in there to his buddy, to his dog. He goes, hey, Red, how you doing? You okay, Red? And he said that dog looked at him and went, ah, bared every tooth that it had. It went, ah. Yeah, that's pretty much where the story ends. Yeah, but my dad said, the dog didn't die, but that dog never forgave me for that. He says, that dog, I never trusted again. He says, because I thought that dog was out to get me. And really, can you blame it? So that's the story of the stump, the dog, and the dynamite. Told truthfully, the way my dad told it. as Bigfoot Bob, signing off. Just remember, be careful what you step in and always watch your six. Zombies. Can't trust any of them.